Meet #PSL. Not the latte, the loaf cake. It's infused with warming spices, pumpkin, and finished with a lovely thin orange icing. So, looks like a lot of ingredients, but I'm going to break it down for you. Now you can use a hand blender straight into this bowl, or any type of blender, because we want to take our cooked pumpkin or sweet potato, add the sugars, oil, the milk, and a tiny bit of vinegar. So we just want to blend this to a puree. Easy. And then we just combine our dry ingredients. So we start with flour, the baking powder, bicarbonate soda, and spices. So cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and ginger. And these spices are what give it that beautiful pumpkin spice flavor. You just need to whisk these together to distribute the baking powder, the spices, and in a way it's kind of avoiding us needing to sift any of these dry mixes. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to give us a teaspoon of orange-zest. And we're just going to add our wet ingredients. And we just want to fold this batter together. You can use a whisk. I think a whisk is really helpful for kind of quickly combining a batter like this. But I'm just going to continue. We don't want to over mix this. We just want to mix it until it's combined and there are no dry ingredients left. And a pre-prepared tin. You can check out my other video on how to line tins. Look at that, it is sleek. There is no wrinkled up paper anywhere. The batter's going to go in, it's going to bake beautifully. It's going to come out really easily. Pour this batter into the tin. Ooh. So one of the interesting things about the way that bicarb works in a recipe is that it starts to aerate the batter. So the reason we put a bit of vinegar in is to start the aeration process really. Baking powder reacts with water and heat to start creating gas and aerate the batter. Whereas with baking soda or bicarbonate soda, it needs to react with acid, and I like to add it into a batter because it starts that aeration process before it goes in the oven. So what's going in the oven is already lighter. Just going to level that out. So I like to just make a divot through the middle of the cake, like so, and then just put a very tiny drizzle of oil down the middle, and as the cake is baking, that cracked part is the last part to bake. And so it's basically creating this lubricating seam where the cake can burst up and we get this lovely, nice, controlled crack or seam in the cake, rather than one that is a bit more rustic. So I've got my cake out. Looking at the cracks firstly, the sponge springs back. Now I always recommend a skewer test because especially in loaf cakes, there's always potential for a little bit of batter to be unbaked. So we just stick it into the crack and we want that to come out clean, which it has. So I'm happy. Grab the paper and peel away those sides to let the cake cool down. To make our glaze, we have our icing sugar, the zest of a quarter unwaxed orange, some orange juice. Just going to whisk them to combine, and a lovely glaze is going to form. This is just a simple orange flavored glaze. So we just want to whisk it until it is completely combined. And then we can either brush it on or pour it over the finished cake. Just for a thinner coat, I like to just so that you have a bit more control over how much glaze you're using. I like to brush it on. It's a nice, lovely, even layer across the whole cake. You see those sides are really nice and clean. We haven't got a wrinkle in sight. I've also got some pumpkin seeds, because why not? Just a little extra touch to sprinkle over the cake. So I'm just going to let that sit until it's nice and crystallized. The glaze will set over the cake and then we can dig in. Alright, just transferring it to my beautiful board. If you haven't seen my other videos, my cousin Zios in Lebanon handmade this board. So we've brought some new meaning to hashtag PSL. This is our pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin spice loaf cake.